Hi everyone, Patty Boy here. Welcome back to my grill. So how'd everybody like the shrimp skewers from last weekend? If you guys really enjoy shrimp and enjoy them on the grill, that's the recipe for you to try. So I hope you guys try out the Schreier shrimp skewers. You're gonna love them. So going forward, what are we gonna do this week? Well, this week I've been thinking about meatballs, okay? So I'm pretty sure from the pizza episode, I let you guys know that I am actually Italian on my mom's side of the family. And because of that, I have had access to extremely good Italian food. And I'm talking, my mother learned how to cook from her grandmother, my great-grandmother. And everything, and her Italian meatballs are the best. So every time we have a family reunion, everybody always says, well, is Sherry making her meatballs? So when we have the family reunion, that's mom's job, is the meatballs. So meatballs, I love meatballs. But I got thinking, so here's the inspiration. I was watching Triple D, and they showed a little Italian restaurant where they actually serve you, you can get like 4 meatballs in a little dish as an appetizer or as a side. And I thought, man, that would be great. I love meatballs so much, I could eat them as just a regular meal. So then, as my thought process went on, I thought, you know, we're grilling here. It doesn't necessarily have to be just meatballs the Italian way, you know, with sauce and Parmesan cheese and mozzarella. So I'm going to go a different way. And I have heard that I've heard many people who say that they've grilled meatballs on their gas grill or charcoal grill. I personally have never done it, so I experimented. I did it, and this is what I came up with. So these are actually just barbecue meatballs. They're not Italian. There isn't anything about this. This is Italian, and I did that on purpose. And you'll see at the end here where I'm going with this. So what do we start with? Just ground beef, that's it. So with meatballs are the same as meatloaf, okay? You're gonna add an egg, you're gonna add breadcrumbs so it all binds together. So we've got some panko breadcrumbs. It's about a half a cup, maybe a little bit more. So 1 egg, all right? So you can see the egg is beaten. No particular reason. I just like, whenever I do eggs and meatloaf or meatballs, I put the eggs in a dish and I beat them. I feel like that distributes it through the meat much nicer. No particular reason. Now, my spices. I've got a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of onion powder, and then, you know, I've had these things lined up before and I've showed you guys. I've used it and I still use them. I love them. The Weber seasonings. So as you can see, this one here is the Cheddar Bacon Burger Seasoning. So I've got probably 12 different seasonings that I have. I use them all the time. So, but that's what this is, the Cheddar Bacon Burger Seasoning. So that all goes in. Boom. Now, I don't know how things are in your house, but in my house, whenever we cook bacon, whatever bacon grease is left over gets dumped in a glass measuring cup or a glass bowl and put in the refrigerator and saved for a later time to use to cook with. So this is what I've got here. This is just bacon grease that has been put in the refrigerator and left to get hard. And we use this for almost anything. And my wife loves making potato soup. This bacon grease is like probably one of the most important ingredients in potato soup. So I just take the grease like that and just put it right in there. So now, you guys have also heard that I have my own barbecue sauces. I've got several of them. But I've also shown you guys that I'm not afraid to use store-bought things. And these are, the Heinz has a whole line of different barbecue sauces. This one here, and there's a Kansas City one that is sweet and smoky. Those two are our favorites. I like this one. It's got just a little bit of spice, not much, but I just put a little squirt because we're going to use this later to finish the meatballs, but a little squirt in there. So let's see, we got the seasonings, the bacon. All right, so what's left? You got to get in there, especially with this bacon. Get this bacon broke up and just get in there and just work everything around. All right, if you're not happy or impressed with this part of the process, get yourself some rubber gloves. You can go and get rubber gloves that you can use around the house, that you can use in the kitchen, and they're relatively cheap. But either way, you got to get this all worked up here. So I'm going to take my good hand and I'm going to press this little button so we can pause you guys, and I'll get these mixed up and then get some balls made, and we'll go from there. All right, so here we are. We're set up outside now. The grill is preheating. It's all cleaned up, oiled, ready to go. Got my meatballs ready. So I want to talk to you guys about something. All right, I know in the past many videos, like just recently the fish fillet videos, and there's been, I believe, the steak and the burgers. There's been several videos where I've said, put your food on there and you only flip it once, and I've said over and over again, don't play with your food. No need to play with your food. Don't play with your food. Well, guess what, kids? Today we're playing with our food. So, what do I mean by that? Okay, these are meatballs. They're balls. They're not for, they're not on just one side and another side. So you have to keep constantly moving them. If you just put them in there and just let them cook on one side, they will cook, but it'll also be black and burnt and just nasty on that one side. So we're going to be in here in the grill and we're going to be moving them. So let's get these things on the grill and I'll show you. All right, we've got the meatballs on there. They're grilling. I'm going to bring the camera over and I'll show you guys what they look like, and flipping them a couple of times. So what we're going to do after we get these things just about done is, I got these cast iron pans. I'm going to finish them, and this is how I tested it. I had one big cast iron pan, and so what I did was, you can see here that bacon grease that I talked to you guys about. So I took some of that and just wiped it in there with a paper towel. So you can see we've got the smaller, these are like a small serving size pans, and I got a couple of them. All right, anywhere that you get cast iron pans, you can find small ones like that. These are really cool for like a serving size. So what I'm going to do is, I got the little bit of the bacon grease smeared around in there, and I'm going to take some of the barbecue sauce and spread it around the bottom, and then I'm going to put meatballs in there, and we'll cover the meatballs with a little bit of sauce. And then I've got here some, this is a mixture that I like. This is just your basic Colby Jack cheddar cheese mix. And then we're going to sprinkle these on top. So anybody recognize these? These are those little French fried onions that your mom puts on that green bean casserole that you have every year for Thanksgiving. These will get sprinkled on top. So, and like I said, I tested this. All right, I made this. As a matter of fact, it was just last night that I made these. These are really good. So these are approved. All right, so you want to get in here, and this is going to be your first move. So your first couple of turns, you want to just be gentle with them. You see the lines on them already. Now, if you were to leave them on there, this one side would just be black. But it's still very raw and very soft. So just when you take your tongs or whatever you use, just flip them gently. Your first couple of flips are going to be gentle. All right, guys, so check this out. This is after just a few minutes. It's had a couple of rolls on them, and you can see they're getting some nice char marks on them, some nice grill lines. So we're getting close. These things, I'm telling you, you guys got to try these. These are going to be really good. You're going to love them. All right, we're coming down the home stretch here, guys. We're getting done. So I've showed you guys a couple times of flipping them around or rolling them because they're meatballs. So we're getting to the end here. All right, so what we'll do is, just about the end when they're done, like I said, we're going to put them in these cast iron skillets, and we'll finish them in that. So here's what I do. Just a little bit of this barbecue sauce in the pan. Remember, I showed you guys that each one of these pans had a little bit of that bacon grease rubbed around in there. So A little bit of the barbecue sauce, a little bit of the barbecue sauce. There. All right. So. Oh, nice. All right. So I ended up, I told you that they were 4 ounces each. Oh, rats. It's starting to rain. You believe that? All right. Let's get these on here. All right. So, barbecue sauce. A little bit on top of each one. Little shot, little shot, little shot. All right. The cheddar. This is just your basic Colby Jack cheddar. I really like this mix. A little bit of cheddar on there. And then this, the French fried onions. This was a nice touch. There was no inspiration for this. I was just looking around. I was thinking, and I thought, oh, these things will work out nice. So, and then just back in the grill for a few seconds. Because your meatballs are all but done, okay? So they just go back into the grill just long enough. You know, when I did it yesterday, those French fried onions, they just had just a little bit of brown around the edges, but the cheese is nice and melted. So, and then because these are the serving size dishes, they'll work out perfect. Just take them out of the grill, watch out they're hot, serve them, all right? So give it a few minutes, seconds, and we'll be right back. All right, so I really wanted to show you guys this sitting on the grill and then taking them off the grill, but like I said a few seconds ago, it was starting to rain out and it was getting harder. So, but this is the finished product, still sizzling. All right, little cheddar cheese on there. So there we go. And these, I mean, these are not Italian meatballs. These are just bacon barbecue meatballs, and that's it. So, all right, so you heard me say a few seconds ago that it was starting to rain, and it was. I was lucky enough to be able to get these in the pan and get them finished off outside. I got you a little close-up of them sitting here. I brought them inside, and they were still sizzling. But, excuse me, there you have it, guys. Bacon barbecue meatballs. There's nothing Italian about these at all, except for the fact that they're called meatball. So, I said earlier that my thought process would be revealed to you. What I was thinking was meatballs don't have to just be Italian. So I showed you here, this is just your basic, barbecue. It's got barbecue sauce. It's got a little bacon, some seasoning. These French fried onions, which by the way, that's a good touch. These are really good with the crunch of them onions. And then, so what I'm thinking is, after this, your imagination, just go, run wild. You could do some Mexican meatballs, a little taco sauce, maybe some queso cheese and a little bit of salsa or taco, seasoning, something like that. You could go maybe Asian, anything. I mean, it's the limits of your imagination. So go ahead and grill some meatballs and serve them up different than what meatballs are normally served up for. All right, so I hope you guys like this. Mom, I love you. I love my Italian heritage, but meatballs aren't just for Italian anymore. So thanks a lot, guys, and catch you guys on the next video. So you remember that I said yesterday that I experimented with these, because I experiment with everything. I don't just throw something at you guys. I check it out. I experiment something that I have cooked or something that I experimented with. So these I experimented, and it was just yesterday. And part of the experimenting process is, trial and error, and you find out what works and doesn't work. So yesterday I made these pretty much exactly the way I made them for you today, except yesterday I did not put the barbecue sauce in with the meat when I mixed it up, the breadcrumbs, the egg, the seasoning. Today, after trying them yesterday, today I did that. I mixed a little bit of the, and you saw me, just squirted a little bit in there. And honestly, you'll just have to take my word for it, because obviously you're not here to taste it, but that was like that was the big difference between yesterday's and today's. And it's a completely different, you have to get, however you decide to make these, whatever sauce that you like. Make sure you add a little bit of the sauce in with the meat and mix it up. So these things here with the sauce mixed in it and on it and in the pan, so good. So trust me guys, go ahead and grill these up. Get going on your meatball dishes. You're going to love them. You'll have to wait. Sorry. So good. You can see on the plate I'm finishing up. Wow. So listen guys, why don't you guys go out there and make your meatballs. Come up with your own, flavor profile, whatever you want to do, and share it. Share pictures with us. I'm sure that everybody on here would love to see the different kinds of flavor profiles, what kinds of recipes, seasonings and whatnot, and I know I would love to. So let's see if we can get a couple people to do that. Let's get some different meatball recipes going and see what happens. So good luck guys, and happy meatball.